My name is Wade McGinnis with Thoroughbred Diesel. This is Clint Cannon, owner of ATS out in Colorado. Clint was in today for some training with us, and we just wanted to sit down with him and ask him a few questions, some stuff that you guys probably want to know, just some grassroots stuff about ATS. Probably one of the first things that a lot of people ask us, Clint, your involvement with the diesel community, what came first for you? Was it transmission work or was it actually turbo work?
You know, that's a good question. That kind of flops back and forth often, but you know that my history is in '93 I opened a torque converter shop or a transmission shop, and soon after that I opened a torque converter shop when I found a real need for torque converters, and of course the diesels came out. So really to answer that question, trannies came first, then torque converters, and quickly after that turbocharger market started to become quite an emerging market, and because torque converters and transmissions are so similar, you know, with the fluid dynamics and kind of the way the air runs through the turbo and the oil runs through the converter, that it was a really natural gravitation towards the turbos.
Right.
So then a couple years later, the integration of advanced turbo systems, I purchased advanced turbo systems and integrated it into what was automotive transmission specialist. So we had ATS here and ATS there.
Yeah, two
so I
ATS.
kind of put everything, merged everything under ATS Diesel Performance.
Yeah.
And that was somewhere around, I believe, '04 when I finally did that merge and put everything under the ATS name.
Right.
And it's been a lot of fun since then.
Sweet. So you basically cut your teeth on transmissions, which is really what your start was.
Yeah,
So,
trannies, you know, when I was a kid, I was always tinkering with the gearboxes on motorcycles. And I just kind of fell into the whole tranny side of it. Then my first vehicle was an '84 Ford truck, and the
Ford,
tranny
yeah.
was bad in it, so I pulled the tranny apart and ended up kind of working on it. And the fella gave me a job at a tranny shop. And it was kind of a dare. It was kind of one of those bets.
Yeah.
He said, "Kid, if you get this thing working, I'll give you a job." And he was kind of joking, so ended up fixing it, and driving it down there, shifting a little bit late, asking a couple questions, and
Good.
he gave me a job.
Ford transmissions, man.
Yeah,
That's where it
that's
started.
it.
Well, with ATS's transmissions, with a 5-year, 500,000 mile warranty, you know, that's kind of unprecedented in the industry. It's awesome. You know, what led you to go with that warranty? Was it when you started doing your own clutches, or what does?
You know, it's really, there's no one singularity that created that decision. You know, really the biggest thing, you know, there was a need for it.
Right.
You know, there's always been a need for a long warranty period. But with the need, you have to have the ability to actually get there,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, you know, what finally allowed us to have a 5-year warranty and offer a 5-year warranty was several things. One was the torque converter. You know, the torque converter was the first that I started offering a ridiculous warranty on in the beginning, which was 3 years.
Right.
And then we decided to just run it to 5 years. And then, you know, since we really manufacture all of it, we build our own clutches and we build the components in the converter, and it's all the billet shafts, and the hydraulic sleeves are bored out in our tranny, so it's all steel sleeves and steel accumulator bushings and, you know, steel valves, that we really removed the wearable items.
Right.
So, you know, we've always had a tranny that would hold the bigger power levels,
Right.
but holding the bigger power levels and having something that has the wear characteristics in a tranny, they're a little different story.
Yeah. So the progression of the transmission, of what you guys have done, it just kind of came together naturally to be able to.
Yeah, it just made it real easy. I mean, we
Awesome.
weren't suffering warranty issues, even the big power level trannies and that, so we just decided an extended value to our customers. You know, we'll just extend it. We'll go from the 3-year to the 5-year. And then, of course, you know, you see how many miles
Right.
these things
Yeah.
are getting anymore. I mean, we got over the road guys that are doing 100,000 miles a year.
Easy. Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, 2 years and you're out of warranty. And so that's what we did.
I think a lot of people don't know that they don't know about ATS is you guys do so much product design. I mean, not just product design, but you all do you know, your own castings and stuff, or some toolings for your castings and stuff like that. Now, with the amount of drive-in service that you guys do, and you guys have got a humongous drive-in service shop there in Arvada at the shop, has that helped you with some of your product design, or?
Absolutely. You know, the install shop, it's kind of funny, you know, the first view is the install shop is huge. I think we've got 18 bays in there or something, but the engineering and the install is all kind of integrated.
Right.
And the reason for that is the reason we keep the install shop open, because it allows our techs and us to have our hands every day on the products that we're installing. And as important, or more importantly, is we have that interaction with the end user, with the customer. And nobody gives you better information, good or bad, than the end user.
Yeah.
You know, you both settle on somebody's truck and they drive it around and they come back, and after 100,000 or whatever miles, they tell you the ins and outs of what they liked, what they didn't like,
Exactly.
and that goes directly into product design.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we really enjoy that.
Yeah, hands-on has got a whole lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, what's up next for ATS, man? And I gotta ask, even though we're not huge on gas, I know the turbochargers right now are big on gasoline vehicles. I know it's probably the next thing coming down the pipe. Really, a whole lot better understanding of turbochargers in general. Hopefully, is coming to the general public. What's next for ATS? Are you guys?
That's a really broad question, and I can tell you that it has everything to do with airflow.
Yeah.
Airflow, whether it's on a gasoline motor or it's a diesel motor, is an important aspect of it.
Right.
Since we are, we're 50% turbocharger company.
Yeah.
So obviously, it'd be silly to think that we're not looking at the gas stuff.
Right.
We're not putting a lot of resources into the gasoline stuff right now, mainly because there are so many diesel projects that need to be finished yet.
Right.
But with some of this newer technology that we've kind of come up with on the airflow side and the turbocharger stuff, I would have to say there's probably no doubt that that's going to fall over into the gas market.
Absolutely.
With the emissions, we're very deeply rooted in the emissions side of it, and the turbocharger and the airflow, and that all kind of fits together. Kind of zipping it all up into the performance side of it. So having that airflow, really helps us with the whole emission side of it. And like I say, that there's no question that'll fall into the gas. You've seen a little bit of it with the Hemi line.
Yeah, meeting emissions is big right now for sure.
It's important,
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a scary thing.
Yeah.
But it's something that we have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a good problem to have.
Well, again, this is Clint Cannon, owner of ATS. I'm Wade McGinnis with Thoroughbred Diesel. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it.